pleasure for me to introduce this most beautiful and most humble person to our platform. Welcome, Deepa, and she'll be speaking on From the World of Me to the World of We. Thank you.
Thank you, Rennie, for the nice words you've spoken about me. Okay, very good afternoon to all of you. Now, Rennie had told me to, in fact, she wanted me to say something about my journey, my spiritual journey. So today I'm just going to speak on that. From the world of me to the world of we. It is my journey. To me, this life is a journey of a relationship which starts with birth and ends with death, having varied experiences in between. An experience is a unit of life, just as a brick is the unit of wall. The strength and weakness of a wall depends upon the quality of the bricks used in its construction. In the same way, our experience, being the unit of life, will determine the type of life led by us. Generally, if experiences are good, life is happy. And if experiences are bad, life is miserable. Experience involves relationship with other beings and things also, inanimate things. In the journey, we are never alone. This journey in this life is not the first or the last. We have taken number of journeys in the past and would be taking many more in the future. It is soul's journey in different garbs in different lives. The people we meet in our journey are people with whom we had some karmic bonding. I hope all of you understand this karmic word. I think you all are used to it. Karmic bonding. Whoever comes into our life is for some purpose, some reason or other. But we do not always know their purpose. But they come with a purpose. In life, nothing is coincidence. Everything has a purpose. All are connected to us through our previous bonding, and in this life, we again get connected to repay our karmic debts. There can be some kind of relationship, even with the plants, with the pets, and domesticated animals. I'm telling my experience way back in 1967. I was in college doing my undergrads. I had the opportunity of attending the international convention at Adair with my parents. N. Sriram was the international president then. During those days, the afternoon reception for delegates used to be organized under the huge banyan tree. Most of you have been to Adair and you have seen that. Of course, now it is different. At that time, that used to be a very big banyan tree. So that was really a sight to see, beautiful. Everyone, all the delegates, meeting each other, greeting each other under that banyan tree. So as we went towards the venue, my eyes got fixed on that giant tree, the giant banyan tree, and involuntarily my hands got joined together with reverence as I felt as though I was standing before my great-great-grandfather. till today, I have never been able to understand rationalize this wonderful experience. It was as if it's a character that is standing, and he is perhaps my great-great-great-grandfather, that tree, that banyan tree. I don't know the reason behind this experience, of course. Till now, I haven't got any good reason for it. Okay, another example. My father-in-law had a black Labrador dog named Rover, who lived for 13 years and was very much attached to him. When my father-in-law expired, he had a premature death. Rover, sensing the loss, refused to take food, and on the 10th day of his death, it breathed its last. This was an exemplary relationship between a human being and a pet, I would say. In my life, I value relationship more than anything else. Since my childhood, I'm a very sensitive and emotional person. I used to always grapple with the question that how could I be happy when people around me, my friends, my relations, are suffering so much. At the age of 19, I had to take the responsibilities of my 3 nieces of the age group of 11, 9, and 2, as my eldest brother's wife died prematurely, and he didn't remarry. These 3 are very close to me, and the youngest one, who was 2 then, calls me mom even today. Now she's beyond 50. She calls me mom. After some years, when I got married, I came across a similar situation. My father-in-law died prematurely, leaving behind his wife, 3 sons, and 2 daughters. My mother-in-law was not that educated, and she couldn't take the responsibility. Therefore, both my husband and I happily took care of them, their education, and settled them in life. This led me to think deeply about life, its meaning and purpose. My father, who was an ardent theosophist and the founder of Utkal TA's Federation, suggested me to read theosophical books, and he used to discuss with me on various theosophical concepts. I remember he telling me once that though it is good to be sensitive, but for that you must be prepared to suffer a lot unless you strengthen yourself from within. Later, I came across a similar idea when I read the book Talks on the Path of Occultism, where I found the following words: "It is unquestionably difficult to be very sensitive and at the same time radiantly happy, yet that is what we must be. Only in and through relationships can we know ourselves, not in isolation. We come back with the same people again and again, either because of our intense desire to be with them or to complete some unfinished karma in relation to them, to fulfill our past life promises, or to be with someone special and to support people who are part of our family. But unfortunately, as soon as we are born, we forget this plan. Sometimes in this life, we feel disappointed, cheated, because we chose a particular family or families or situations. But As this was our own choice, we have to experience these until our karmic bonding is over. If they are not experienced in this life, they would be carried forward to life after life till we get done with it. In fact, life is an opportunity to evolve as part of our spiritual existence. We need to be conscious and responsible for our thoughts, words, and actions because they guide our learning, development, and transformation. We, being students of Theosophy, need to live intelligently with awareness of ourselves in relationship with others around us. In the process of experiencing many difficult and adverse situations, I learned lessons which helped me become stronger and wiser also. In the path of my journey, I found many mentors who have enriched it with their spiritual experiences and profound teachings. At one point of time, I met a mystic saint, Mata Krishna. She lives where I live, who had mastered some siddhis. I hope you know what siddhi is. There's a power, the spiritual power, by which she could answer any questions by just looking at the plain surface of a stone slab. It is quite interesting, and I got enamored by that. And as you know, as Akashic energy holds all our thoughts, feelings, actions of each lifetime, one could ask any question relating to one's past, present, and future, and she could read out the answers from that slab, which was visible only to her. Nobody else could see that, but only she could see that and she could read it out. But later I realized that these are of temporary relief, but the true answer lies within. It was really incredible. That saint is still living, and if you want to meet her, you are welcome to Odisha, to Bhubaneswar. Till end of 80s, I was confined to my immediate and extended family, and that was what I meant when I said the world of me. The world of me doesn't mean only me or my husband, but it is my extended family. Because of my sensitive nature, I got associated with many charitable organizations like Red Cross, Destitute Homes, Orphanages, Old Age Homes, I-Bank, Disabled Rehabilitation Centers, etc. With this, I stepped out of the world of me, which consisted of my family and extended family members, and started making space in my heart to embrace these unprivileged ones. My world became wider, and my love, compassion, and sympathy started flowing towards them. That was the time I joined TS in Devapi Lodge, which my father had started. Along with the 3 objectives of TS, I learned the definition of a true theosophist. HPB had said, "He who doesn't practice altruism, he who is not prepared to share his last morsel with a weaker or poorer than himself, who turns a deaf ear to the cry of humanity, is not a theosophist." She makes the declaration, true theosophy is altruism, unquote. The theosophist is one who is characterized by the quality of altruism. I also got attracted by HPB's 3 key concepts, study, meditate, and serve, which are essential for spiritual journey. In fact, to me, to serve is to live theosophy. One can serve in different ways, physically, emotionally, spiritually, intellectually, and in all these endeavors, one should experience joy and happiness within. In 2008, I had a spontaneous experience of connectedness with the wider world that I would like to share with you all. I have already said it, I think, in Wheaton, and that International Conference of TOS 2013. So, my elder son passed away at the age of 34, and we were very much attached to each other. At the moment of his passing away, I seemed to be transported from my small me world to a much wider, much expanded we world, where there is vastly more pain and suffering. I found myself calmly informing the doctor that we would like to donate our son's eyes to 2 blind children who could see this beautiful world which our son could no longer see. I was not myself, my usual self, with the small eye. I experienced a radical shift, a transformation in perspective. I was filled with a feeling of unconditional love and empathy for those who were less fortunate than me and my family. I felt a powerful sense of connection to others. I realized that the deep pain of the loss of our son that made me inward was the catalyst for the shift. This shift from me to we is a kind of philosophy on which the practical theosophy is based. This presents a change, a transformation from inside out, which is actually a redefinition of oneness and happiness. The real meaning of happiness is not a solitary journey, but a journey of togetherness. When one celebrates the loss of little I altogether in the vastness of we, there is no longer sympathy but empathy. Jealousy has converted into appreciation. Suddenly I felt like I was becoming larger than myself, my family, and even extended family, society, country, and the whole humanity at large. This can start with simple actions like celebrating the birthday of children in a home, or taking them for an outdoor picnic, spending time with a single old person in an old age home. These are very small gestures, but provides enormous happiness and joy to them and to us. In joy and love, each one of us can bring about small changes that can turn out to be great changes. Theosophy to me, teaches the art of living amidst differences. Though we belong to one source, each one of us is different and unique. Whether good or bad, each has its own perceptions, opinions, and ways. Problem arises when each expects others to accept his views and ways. unless one tolerates the views of others, harmonious living is just impossible. The purpose of our life is to learn the unity way of living amidst differences. And in order to live such a life, one needs to cultivate the basic attributes of compassion, kindness, love, understanding, and I would say tolerance. With a loving smile, one can befriend one's worst enemy. Smile is really powerful. It can change millions of lives for the better. It is not just a superficial gesture that starts and ends on the face. It comes from the heart and touches the heart of the recipient. Peace starts with a smile, says Mother Teresa. Smiling helps to remain always at peace within. As I have mentioned earlier, Theosophy advocates altruism or selflessness, which is an attitude to be developed. As Bhagavad Geeta says, desiring for yourself will bring troubles in your life, but desiring for others will bring happiness in you. It is advised that while maintaining relationship, don't be calculative. Don't be a beggar in relationship. It says, be a giver in relationship. Don't be a beggar in relationship, but be a giver in relationship. Theosophical life means a meditative life, an intuitive life which is lived in openness, not in a closed room. It doesn't really need any particular time or place to sit with closed eyes. It is living in full awareness. Only the vision has to be changed from the periphery to the center. In the book, At the Feet of the Master, it is said, to hear the Master's words is not enough. You must do what he says, attending to every word, taking every hint. People will not follow our advices. People will follow our examples, our actions. What we do is more important than what we say. Words have no values. People will be inspired, motivated by what they see in us, not what they hear from us. Very aptly, J. Krishnamurti stated, life is relationship. Living is relationship. We cannot live if you and I have built a wall around ourselves and just peep over that wall occasionally. Unconsciously, deeply under the wall, we are related. Individual human beings, therefore, need to rise in consciousness above the physicality, that is the body and the separative mind, which create its false independent identity for worldly pleasures by making divisions, fragmentations, and distortion. From the spiritual standpoint, man is expected to rise above the unity underlying the diversity. Our ancient seers spell out the necessity of extending fellowship to flora and fauna, even to the so-called inanimate, because every created thing and being partake of the same sense, same essence, and are interrelated. The need is to bring about transformation in the core, shedding the rust and dust accumulated over it across so many years or lives. A change in the perception, in the mind, in the mindset of the individual is urgently needed. I stress the word urgently. We need to develop an inclusive consciousness that will manifest in our altruistic actions. When one is awake at a deeper level of consciousness, life is lived in a different dimension, whether it is in family or workplace or social congregation. A perception of such unity naturally leads to a sense of harmony, sharing, serving, and loving. It is a dimensional shift in the way one perceives and experiences life. The mission statement of the Theosophical Society aims at this paradigm shift and is expressed as to serve humanity by cultivating an ever-deepening understanding and realization of the ageless wisdom, spiritual self-transformation, and the unity of all life. As I mentioned earlier, I appreciate and follow the trio method of HPB, study, meditation, and service, which to me correspond to the Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, and Karma Yoga, and in TOS terminology, head, heart, and hand. All three are inclusive of each other, not exclusive. As far as study is concerned, I am quite liberal and read books of different religions, spiritual treatises, philosophy, and theosophy. To my surprise, all meet at one point, though presented differently. Truth, as you know, is one, above all religions and all sects. Silence of meditation gives me a lot of strength and made me a good listener. I'm not a good speaker, but I'm a good listener. Meditation is the food for the soul and therefore necessary for every day. During meditation, one gets a feeling of being united with all and find everything in abundance. Love in abundance, compassion in abundance, energy in abundance, happiness in abundance, which together immensely help not only me, help anyone to render selfless service to others. In meditation, the spiritual emotions get unfolded. The wonderful thing about service, whether undertaken in a group context such as the TOS or in our individual lives, is that it is above all a joyful, loving experience where there is no smell of ego or selfishness. This reminds of Mahatma Gandhi, who said, "To find yourself, you have to lose yourself in the service of others." Swami Vivekananda had said, "Work done for others awakens the subtle and normal divine power, Kundalini, within our body." Theosophy, or self-knowledge, and altruism, or selfless service, are complementary to each other. Self-knowledge is indeed a journey from selfishness to selflessness, exclusiveness to inclusiveness, manifold to oneness, from me to we. I don't know what's the time. I would like to end my speech with the sayings of Saint Francis. O Divine Master, grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive, it is in pardoning that we are pardoned, and it is in dying that we are born to eternal life. Thank you.